Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dina and this is my channel about cross stitch. Today I'm going to start it off with an update on what I've been stitching. I had a virtual stitching time yesterday morning with from my friend Laura, who is also stitching this. This is a Mirabilia called Gathering Eggs. And except for this small portion at the bottom here, it would be a full coverage. I actually almost thought it was this morning when I got to looking at it. I started to put a picture of it in the Full Coverage Fanatics Facebook group, and then I realized, oh, there is one corner that isn't stitched. But I love it. I think it's a precious piece, and I had started it as part of my Stitch Mania. And I worked on it not only because we were stitching together yesterday, but it also met a prompt for me. I had to stitch on something that had clouds in it, and so fortunately this does. And as it turned out, I actually got to stitch on the clouds. So there are a few little random stitches in here that you can see there are blanks for, but otherwise I got all of my white clouds stitched and all of the little green dividers in here and some white cloud there. So I more than met my stitches for my prompt, but what I was excited about is that I have started working my way on across the top, and then I can start working my way down as I like to do. So I was really pleased with that progress. I got quite a few stitches in, over 600 actually, and decided I'd show it to you this morning before I put it away. I am about to have a wonderful opportunity today. I'm going to get to meet a friend for lunch, and don't do that as often as I used to. But this friend and I are going to a local restaurant that we both know and love, and they are socially distancing, and everything there is homemade, and we know the owners, and so we feel pretty comfortable going there. And she and I are going to meet for lunch today. We haven't met for lunch in a very long time. We've talked, on the telephone, but we haven't been able to spend time together, and so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm trying to make some time for talking with my friends and reconnecting with people, to make me feel less isolated, and it's such a treat. And so I encourage you, if you get a chance to even do that virtually, which is what I did yesterday, stitching with my friend, it really is a balm to our soul. So that's my report for today. I will probably have something to share with you maybe tomorrow. Don't know that I'll be back tonight, but if I have something ready, I will. And but at least some stitching progress to share with you very soon. Happy stitching, and I hope you are well, and I encourage you to stay safe, wear your mask. It's still not over. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is still the 21st of October, and I'm here to give you a stitching update today. I actually got to work on my Mermaid by Teresa Winsler today. And if you will recall, it's been a while, so you may not remember, but I had decided that the next time I worked on this piece, I was going to work on the border from top to bottom down one side, because I had done the border across the top to make sure it was going to fit. And so today I did the border all the way to the bottom. And look, it's perfect. It's going to be the perfect size on this fabric. I'm very excited about it. So I got that goal accomplished, and that's all I wanted to do for this time. I just wanted to make sure this piece is going to fit so that when I really get started on it, I don't have any troubles with it. So very happy about that. I was working on it this afternoon while I was talking with my friend Marissa from Canada, and I finished that, and then I picked up my cross stitch nation because I wanted something a little bit easier to do while we were talking. And so I've only put a few stitches in it. All I have is the needle on the next person. But I'm gonna continue working on that maybe tomorrow and see if I can't finish one more individual on there. So that'll be something I'll come back and share with you hopefully tomorrow. But in the meantime, I hope you're having a good evening. I hope you're having a good evening of happy stitching. Good night. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina and I am here today to give you another stitching update. I have been working on one of my whips, Cross Stitch Nation, and so today I decided to work on another person, and I got one more person finished. So the one I did today is this one on the end, and I copied the colors in the dress and I left the hair as charted. So that one will look the most like the pattern, I think, of any of them that I have. But I made her a ginger, and so I thought that was a fun thing to do. And I have the crown just as was called for in the pattern, and I can't decide if she's the queen of cross stitch or the queen of crafting, or if she's our own queen of stash or queen of starts or whoever. But anyway, I thought that was a fun one. I opted to go ahead and finish that side, and then the next time I pick this up, I'll start here and work my way that way until I'm through adding all of the people. I did want to show this to you. This is a new necklace that my son got me, and I don't know if you can tell what that is, but it's a picture of Coco. He sent it off and had it put in a little necklace for me. Sweet. So anyway, I thought he was going to give it to me like for a birthday or Christmas. When it came in, he said, "Oh, this is something I ordered for you." And I said, "Okay, I won't look." And he goes, "Oh no, I want you to wear it." And he gave it to me. So that was very nice. Well, I hope you're having a great day. I'm excited to go pick up my puppy, so I'm not gonna talk any longer. And I'm gonna wish you happy stitching, and I'll be back when I have more to share. Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. It is Saturday, the 24th of October, and it's been a great day here in our household today. My husband got home from his latest hike on the AT trail. I believe they went 103 miles this time. They did discover that on their very next hike, they will hit what is commonly known as the halfway point. It isn't exactly halfway, but it's the closest big area to halfway. So I think people throw a celebration when they do that, and they're pretty excited about it. It probably will be next year before they get back up there, maybe in February or March, sometime in there, because it's starting to snow, and they are not going to risk being caught in any more blizzards like they were this past year. And so that was the last hike of the season, as they say, until next year. But I'm glad my husband's home and safe and sound. So it has been a day of anticipation of his arrival, and I did a good bit of stitching. My son was home today, and he could help me entertain Coco, and so that was great. I got a lot more stitching than I maybe would have otherwise. So today I worked again on Giggles in the Snow. I started working on it a little bit yesterday evening, only got about 200 stitches in, but today I was able to get more like 600 and something. So I finished my goal. My goal was to stitch all of the snow shading on the right side of the little boy as you're looking at the pattern, because that is the last thing I had to do before I could start working on the little girl across the top. And I decided I had to do the top of the little girl before I could roll the scroll frame up. So this is a major landmark for me. This is great. So here we go, Giggles in the Snow. This is my update. I stitched all of this shadowing here, 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 and these three. So it was easy to do because it was two colors, One is a blend. It's a beautiful light violet and white. And then this darker color is a solid color and was the second color. It's a little bit in here as well. But that made it go quicker. Even though it was a blend, it not having to change my thread that often was very helpful. And so now the little snow shadow starts over here for the left side of the little girl. So my next time that I pick this up, I'll be working on the little girl. Pretty excited about that. That's fun. So this was a big event today because this actually ended and completed my acrostic for Ghost, which was from the magazine monthly acrostic for CZ C. Zook Stitch and her friend Robin and their Facebook group that I'm a part of. And so I decided that I didn't have as many magazines starts that I wanted to do right now because some of them are bigger. And I didn't want to get that many more big things started before the end of the year because I'm trying to finish things up before the end of the year. So I decided that for a month that I didn't have a magazine start to do for the Facebook group, I would make sure to do the acrostic and post it. And so tonight I took the time to post in the group that I had finished my acrostic, and I put a picture in of each piece that showed that I had worked on, and I described what the goal was that I had attained for working on that piece for the acrostic. So that was awesome. This week, when I worked on Mermaid, I forgot to mention that that completed my acrostic for 24 hours of cross stitch. So I have finished that one as well, and I'm pretty excited about that because now this last week, the only thing that I have to worry about is if I decide to do prompts in any of the Facebook groups I'm in. And if I don't have one of those prompts that I want to meet, I just get to stitch whatever I want. So don't be surprised if you see one of my whips come back out to share with you. But whatever I'm stitching on Halloween, on October 31st, I will bring out my Sleepy Hollow and I'll put some stitches in it just for Halloween. I think that'll be pretty awesome. So that's my update for this evening. Coco and my hubby have already hit the hay. My husband was pretty tired when he drove all the way home today, so they're resting. I know y'all have seen the way Coco greets my husband, so that was quite an event this evening when he got home. She was very, very happy. I kept telling her all day, "You're going to be a very happy girl today. You just wait." And she was. Thanks everybody for letting me share my stitching with you, letting me share my stories with you about my puppy and my husband's adventures. And he actually has a lovely video that he's put on Facebook. That's just a real quick synopsis of their trip. And if I can get him to forward it to me, I'll put it at the end of this one if I can. So it's very short, but it will give you some beautiful scenery. And one of the pictures in it is a picture of his hiking buddy actually throwing some trash away in a trash can. And the reason that is significant is that you never find a trash can on the trail. You have to wait till you finish. You have to haul out all of your trash, and you don't usually get to throw it away until you finish the hike and you get back to civilization. So for them to have a trash can was a pure luxury. And it was so impressive to them, they actually filmed theirself at the trash can, which I thought was funny. So I hope I get to put that in for you, just to remind you of the beautiful scenery in our country. So I hope you are having a great day of stitching, and that you enjoy your weekend. What's the rest of it? It's only half gone. And I will come back and talk with you and share with you the next time I have an update on what I've been stitching on. Good night. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina. Today is Sunday. It is the 25th of October. And what a better day to stitch on something Christmassy than on the 25th of the month, right? Well, I got tickled. It's several of you who made comments on my last video that when I mentioned I only had one Advent animal left to stitch and I had it slotted to go into November. Several of you said that's not going to happen. You'll finish before then. Because you know how I am. When I get close to a finish, I can't help myself. So you're right. Today, I couldn't stand it. I went ahead and started Rudolph Reindeer, number 25 of the Advent Animals. And I just plodded along with it. My husband was home today, and so in between rain showers, he took Coco out for a wonderful hike or walk up the road a bit. He drove a little bit south of us to get out of the rain showers and took her on a nice long walk. And just a few minutes ago, because it hasn't been raining this afternoon, he took her for a second little short walk here in the neighborhood just to help her to be able to calm down a little bit more and, you know, rest and kind of get ready for her to go to bed later. But I decided to take advantage of that time and share with you my progress on Rudolph Reindeer. So here's my Rudolph. Isn't he cute? I love it. I love his antlers, and I love him having the presents hanging off of him and the candy cane and the little bells. And interestingly enough, I didn't like the 25 being up there because I felt like it was crowded. And yet when I tried to place it here or here, it was a couple of stitches too small, and it would have stuck out wider than my border, and none of the others have done that. So to be consistent, I just left it crowded, but that's okay. He's wearing it almost like a crown, number 25. So I think he's adorable. Look at his little face. He looks so cute, so friendly and so happy. Just a precious little animal. I love the snow on his antlers. I think that's a great addition to the piece. And so there you have it, Rudolph number 25. They're all done. Happy stitching, everyone. Good night. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dina, and this is my channel about cross stitch, and this is my update for October 26th, 2020. I have two things to share with you today. I was able to go by Hobby Lobby today and pick up two of my framed pieces. I have one to show you. I'll tell you the story about the other. But this is the one that I wanted to share with you. Isn't this a cute, cute frame? If you'll notice, the frame has a navy blue edge right in here on both sides, and it has a funnier, lighter, almost whitewash looking blue in here. And if you look at his jacket and the flag up here, you will find the same combination almost identically of the navy and the blue right in here. I felt like it was close enough that it made a great frame for this piece. I really, really like it. And I didn't put glass on it because of all these big, thick buttons. I just think they look so cute, and I wanted you to be able to see them, and I didn't want them to be hidden, you know, behind glass. And so here is my Brave flags, and it's fully framed. I'm so tickled with it. So I brought this home today. I actually brought the other one home. I had to take it back. So let's talk about what good customer service I ran into today. I went and picked up my two pieces, and I had a brief look at them as they were handing them to me, because you know, at Hobby Lobby, you don't pay for them until you get them. And I will know next time to ask them to let me hold them and look at them, because she sort of held them up like this together and said, "Aren't these great?" And then we walked up to the front. I think she was as excited about them as I was, but she wasn't the one who framed them, so she hadn't looked at them real close. So I got all the way home with them, and I went to show them to my husband, and this one was great. And then I looked at the second one, and my second one was my Scissors and Bobbins by Jardin Privé. And I was so disappointed. They had a new employee they were training, and she came out to help me. I knew she was new because I know all their staff there, because I go there quite often to have my framing done. And she asked all the right questions, and we took measurements, and she wrote down all the measurements and put them in the computer. And she didn't know how to show me how it would look in the computer, which was a mistake. I should have insisted that somebody else come help me. But she was very nice, and she seemed to be doing a good job. And she even asked a coworker to come check her work. This is where their system failed. The coworker was rather busy, but politely came over and looked at everything in the computer that she had put in the computer. Didn't look at the frame, didn't remeasure the piece, didn't do anything. Just looked at what she had put in the computer and told her, yes, it looks right. And so she ordered my frame. Well, what she didn't think about, and I didn't know to think about because I'm not a framer, but I'll know from now on to look, is that the frame I had selected had a lip in the inside of it. Like, it almost looks like a, what would you call it? Almost like having a mat in it, because there's the frame, and then at the opening of the frame isn't exactly open. There's still a little piece of the frame that kind of comes down below what looks like the opening of the frame, so that it's a little bit more, it's a smaller opening than you think when you just, if you just were to measure the top level. So anyway, it meant that when they put it in the frame, that lip covered my stitching. It didn't just touch it. It didn't just come right up to the edge of it. It did that on the top. On the right side, it actually had a 1/4 of an inch showing of fabric, but on the left side, it covered the stitching. Half of my picture, I had a picture of a needle, you know, that where you have thread that had been stitched around a portion of the picture. The needle was half covered. You only could see half of it. And at the very bottom part, the part of the last row of stitches in the grass were covered. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen. So they were so nice. I went right back over there this afternoon, and I showed them my piece, and they were a little confused as to how that could happen until they started looking in the computer, and they remeasured it, and they called one of the more experienced girls out there, and she said, "This frame has a lip. I bet you they didn't make an allowance for that." And so she checked the measurements, and that's exactly what happened. We even took the piece out of the frame, and we laid it down on top of the frame. And if it didn't have that lip, it would have been the absolute perfect size frame. So that's exactly what happened. She just didn't know to make an allowance for that lip, and because she did measure it correctly if it had just been an opening with nothing, you know. So anyway, lesson learned for me, lesson learned for her. I hope that they'll share it with her. I'm sure they will, because they have to reorder my frame. They got to get a whole new one. And it wasn't something they had in stock. They have to order it, and they've got to relace it because they've got to cut a new mounting board because it won't be large enough for the new frame. And so they have to redo the whole thing. And they told me very, very clearly, this is at no charge to you. This will not cost you anything extra. Now that's pretty good service, y'all, because they've got a frame they can't use, a custom ordered frame they can't use. And they've got to redo all their labor that I've already paid for and not get paid for it. So they're going to have to do double the work and have double the cost of their materials, and they're not charging me anything extra. So, have I said lately how much I love where I live and the people and how nice they are? I told the ladies today when I took my piece back that I had always had very, very good framing there and such wonderful customer service, and that this was no exception, that I can understand how it happened, and I'm very sorry that it did, because I know it means extra work for them. They were very apologetic because they were very sorry that I'm going to have to wait another 2 weeks now for that new frame to come in. And that's okay. It's for me. It's not a gift. It's for my sewing room. Thank goodness. If it were a gift, I might have been a little more nervous. Today, I decided that I wanted to work on something for a prompt that I could do or not do, and I decided I wanted to do it because I've been wanting to put my hands back on this whip anyway, and I've mentioned that a couple of times, but this is my latest full coverage, and it is the this one with the Santa and his sleigh up here on the rooftop. The prompt I was meeting was to stitch on a whip that illustrated night in some way. And of course, Santa comes at night. And he's right there on the roof with his bags of toys. So he hasn't already gone, and it's not morning. So it is nighttime. And I had to stitch 300 stitches for that prompt because of the choices I made in the prompt. You get to build your own this time. And here is my full coverage whip with an extra 328 stitches in it. So I concentrated a lot on the Santa and the Santa sleigh and finished off the bags of toys. And then I came in and finished off another couple of colors in the sky. And these are, you know, typical dimensions kit. 3 strands and 4 strands and all that. And I have been doing that with this one because as small as it is, I think it needs that dimension in it to make it really pop. So I've been doing it. So that is my stitching for the day. That's all I got done today. I did a lot of errands and did some running around. I am tickled to death because I got the backing fabric for my 25 Advent animals. So I'll share it with you. I have ordered the trim, and I don't have it here yet, but here is my backing fabric. It's red and it has snowflakes on it, but let me show you this. It's a variegated red. It goes from dark to light to dark to light. It also has a sparkly gold thread in it, which you probably can't see on the camera. I don't think oh, there you go. You can almost, maybe see it sparkle a little there. Look on the curve where I'm rolling it around. But when I showed it to my husband, he said, my eyes are playing tricks on me. It looks dark one minute and light the next. No, it's not your eyes. That's what it looks like. And of course, I did that striped look there because it reminded me of the numbers having the red stripe across the pink in the numbers. So I like the fact that the fabric has a little bit of a stripe in it just from the color. And you'll notice that there's dark red and a lighter red all throughout. Every one of these has red in it of some kind. I went today and looked at all the Christmas fabric at Joann's that we had locally. I looked at every blue-gray background they had. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. I probably could have looked at a green background, but I really liked the red because I thought it really popped. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, this backing and this in the front. I'll show you the two together because I think they really look pretty. I didn't want another polka dot because I already had polka dots in the front. However, I did want to pay homage to it. So I have on order the little tiny mini polka dot, or what do you call them, pom-pom trim. And I'm gonna put the white pom-pom trim around each of these. And I think that will look really pretty. I think the little pom-pom trim will make it look like little snow, like I have the fabric representing the snow. So there's my red backing fabric for these. And this is funny, when I went to the cutting table with that bolt of fabric, and I had taken my piece with me that just has the first 18 on them. And I laid this on the fabric to see if I needed a half a yard, a full yard, yard and a half, you know, what would I need to get all 25 of them with a backing. And when I laid this on the fabric to measure it at the cutting table, I said, I need 25 of these. And I said, this is only 18 of them, so I have a few more. And I said, but I think I can get it out of a yard. And she looked at me so funny and she said, you're gonna need lots of yards if you've got 25 of these. She thought I meant this whole piece that I had stitched it 25 times. No. So I explained and she said, oh, okay, yeah, yard will do. And so I was able to get my yard of fabric and it was on sale, which was nice. So anyway, I'm very, very pleased with that. So there's my backing fabric for that now. So that decision has been made and I'm very, very happy with it. So I have it in a bag here to protect it so that nobody drools on it or chews on it. And I'll put it over there in my to be sewn basket. I actually have my other ornaments that I've got to make, the 12 Days of Christmas, over there. But today I picked up something for them as well. I picked up trim. Coco, get out of Mama's trash can. Thank you. She's looking up like, what are you talking about? I picked up some gold trim. This is cording that has a real sparkly gold running through it, like a thread that's wound through it, if you can see that. And so rather than me take a ton of DMC to make my own cording, I'm cheating. And I bought this today because the piece, each piece has some gold in it, and you know the back of my fabric, my backing fabric, has a sparkly gold outline or trim painted on it. And I think this will really pull that out. And so I got that today so that I could work on those as well. So I got some finishing in my near future, but I'm really tickled. I can't wait for my pom-poms to get here so I can do those, but that's going to be a few days, I'm afraid. Well, I think that's everything I have to share with you today. My stitching, my framing, my finishing fabric. It's been a good day. It's been a very good day. Tomorrow I have a meeting at my church with the ladies, and then I'll be able to come home and get started. So I have another prompt, one more prompt to meet, and I think I'm going to try to get it tomorrow if I have time. And then once that prompt is met, then the decision time is there. I have to decide what I'm going to stitch on for the rest of the month. Am I going to touch several rips? Am I going to take one and try to push it closer to a finish so I can get a finish in November? I don't know. Am I going to stop stitching some this month and do some finishing? I don't know. I don't know what I'll be in the mood to do, but I'll let you know when I figure it out. So I hope you're having a great, great start to your week. It's Monday. It's the first day of the last week of October. And my son brought in a beautiful little plastic bowl that's in the shape of a cat's head with ears and everything he got from a secret pal at work. And he told me he thought we should put some candy in it and sit it outside with a sign that says, please take one. And That way, if we do have trick-or-treaters, they won't be disappointed, but we won't be going to the door. So I think that's a good idea. I loved on Facebook where Daylene and her husband had fixed up a pipe where they're going to shoot candy bars down to the kids from their house. I think that's a great idea. Our house, though, is ground level, so there's nowhere to shoot it down from. So I think my son came up with a pretty good solution. I also wanted to share one thing with you. This isn't haul, this was a gift. My husband brought this back when he went on his hiking trip. He wanted to bring me a little present. So he brought me this magnifier, and it has lights in it. I won't turn it towards you, it'll blind you. But he got this for me for when I'm trying to read some of the small print on some of the patterns. You know, their symbols can be pretty tiny. And the one I'm working on right now for my full coverage for this one, the Christmas Village Ornament, the symbols on the pattern are very tiny and the patterns are in color. And I don't know that my copier will copy them exactly the same as they are. And so I'm trying to use the pattern and just the original pattern so I can see it the best. This has been very, very handy for me because I have a magnifier lamp for my stitching, but with my pattern sitting on the table a little bit further away, I don't want to keep moving my lamp back and forth to look, you know, at the pattern and then back to position it back to my stitching. And this is just great. I can pull it up, look at it, see what the symbol really is, get the right color and go, and just put this back down on my table, and it works really well. So my hubby did a good job. He did a good job on my little present that he brought. He brought our son a reflective walking vest because he started walking, and sometimes when he gets off work, especially now with the time change, and he's walking before he gets home, it gets dark. And so he takes a headlamp with him and wears it so that people can see him driving down the road. But, and he can see a little bit, you know, walking enough to get home. But my husband decided he thought he ought to have a reflective vest so that people could really see him. And my son was very tickled with that. It worked out really well. And Coco, he brought Coco two very special things. 2 sticks, just sticks, little sticks he picked up off the Appalachian Trail. And that was because he said they'll be full of wonderful smells and things of an area that she's never been to. And she loved them. She played with them. She went running over to the side yard and laid in the grass and nibbled on it and smelled it and peeled it and just loved it. Just had a grand time with them. He couldn't have got her something she liked any better. And she's going to tear it up if it's a toy anyway. So I thought that was a good idea. So that's our family news, the happenings that have been around here, and all that I have to share with you for this evening. So I'm going to say good night, and I hope that you are having a great week of stitching. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina, and today is Wednesday. It is October the 28th, and it has been a fabulous day for me. First of all, I got to stitch with my friend Stitch in May. Megan and I hadn't had a chance to talk in a while for any length of time. And so today we just decided that while her son was at school and my husband had Coco on a long walk, we would stitch virtually together. And that was great fun. I enjoyed it so much. Megan will do it again soon. I continued to work today on a piece that I started working on 2.5 days ago. I got finished with a prompt, you know, about halfway through the day, and I decided I would pick this piece up because it was fairly easy to stitch on, and I wanted to get some work done on it on that little half day that I had. And I wound up getting a whole section done, a whole motif, and that got me energized to maybe do a little more. And so this is the one that I'm talking about, my Cross Stitch Nation. And I had actually wound up on that day getting half of this dress done. and it was such a big thing. So when I came in the next day, I was able to finish that half and these other two. And I stitched late. I stitched till about 10:30 that day. So when I got up today, I had this person left, this bottom row, and the little centers of the flowers to do. So I got it done. I have finished my cross stitch nation and I want to share it with you. There it is. I think it's lovely. I hope you do. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. I think most of you that have seen it before know that I am trying to represent various nationalities with my people. So I have done African American, Asian, I've done Irish, or just ginger, so that, you know, we're represented that way too. And then this is what I would consider more of a Hispanic or South American, sort of, you know, brownish skin tone. Got your regular Caucasian here. I've got a darker brown here that I thought would represent more of our darker brown skins, such as Indian or American Indian even. But hopefully it will represent a couple of different nationalities. And then I have this person who I did blonde, not just to represent blondes, but also to hopefully represent more of our Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish, you know, European. So I tried to get as many in there as I could. And, you know, the reason is because we're all different. We're all from different countries, but we all are united together in our love of cross stitch. It is the thread that binds us. And so for that reason, I had this idea that I would stitch the threads in each person's hand to coordinate with another person. So this beautiful purple thread in here is actually the purple trim in this dress. Okay, this pink is the pink in this dress. This beautiful burgundy is the burgundy in his tie. And this orange, light orange here, is in the waistband and in the squares that are scattered throughout her dress. So each individual that has thread has a thread that is from their neighbor. So we are all united and tied together through those threads that we stitch. The other thing that I did is it had an alphabet so I could change my initials, but my initials in here totaled up to about, even with the spaces between them, to 16. And the initials that were on there totaled up to something like, oh my gosh, 27 or something. It was long. The W was huge. And so that meant it was going to push this further down. Plus the 2020, pardon me for knocking the camera there, the 2020 numbers were bigger than the 2016 that were originally charted. So I wasn't sure this was going to turn out great or not. I was really tickled when it turned out okay. And the way that I did that is I started and the initials right where they started. And then I just went across here and I counted the extra 4 spaces I needed for the number. I pushed them this way. And so I stopped and started this where it needed to start. And then as it turned out, there was a perfect amount of room left for 3. I think it looks pretty good considering how much of it was a different count than what was charted. I think it looks pretty close to the original, and I'm really, really happy with that. And then the extra little thing that I did, let me see if I can get this down in the light so you can see it. There you go. It's late here. I'm sorry for the lighting. These are beads. These are beautiful golden yellow beads. The center was called for a yellowy mustard color. So I just found my yellowy golden beads, and I wanted to bead the center of the flowers for texture. And also, as you know, a nod to the fact that cross stitchers like to embellish what we do. And so for me, the beading was the embellishment there. I did also play with the hair. I think that was a big part of me trying to make these characters look more like the ethnicity that I was hoping to get. This is the only female's hair that is as charted. His is as charted as well. I only had one guy, so that was easy. But then I put this hair to be long down the back. You can see it showing through there. And I put this person's hair very short, kind of like mine. I have this person's hair up on top of their head, kind of as if it's in a curls piled on its head, or you know, a bouffant kind of do to wear that crown. And then I have this long hair in front of the shoulders, and also a little bit of a curve on the end. If you see, it's turned up, where the other longer hair is very straight and cut blunt across. And I tried to get this to look a little bit like a small afro. I'm not that good at charting, so I'm not sure I got the look I really wanted there, but I got a different look than this, so that every hairstyle is different. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. I hope you like it. I hope you like the spirit in which it was done, to be inclusive and to show how vast a variety we have in our group of stitchers. And so I'm excited about this. I'm glad to have this for my stitching room, and I'm looking forward to putting it up in my sewing room. So there it is. That's my finish that I wanted to share with you. So I'm happy about that. And that's what I've been doing. So that kind of concludes my stitchy update for the day. Actually for the last 2.5 days. So I will tell you that I'm going to be doing a secret stitch, and I wish I could show it to you, but I can't because the person it's for watches my channel. And we talked recently about deciding to do a birthday exchange with each other. My birthday's in December and her birthday's in January. And so we are going to stitch each other a little something, just a small. And we've gone over the rules with each other about what we want to do. And so I will be stitching on that. I've picked what I'm going to do. But I won't be able to show it to you as I work on it. So I will just kind of say, I also worked on my secret stitch or something like that, so you'll know, because I won't have as much stitching to show you until it's gifted and received, and then I can share it with you. So I'll do a videotape of it when it's finished and share it after she has gotten it. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So now I would like to talk a little bit about plans. I have a lot of finishing work to do. I have a lot of ornaments to take care of. So I have shown you backing fabric and things that I've gotten along the way. Now I am waiting on one trim, and once that comes in, then I'll be able to do the 25 Advent animal ornaments. I have the trim and the backing fabric for the 12 days. So I'll probably go ahead and get those done if I can this month. I got to the end of this month, and I have a couple of days that I don't have anything slotted that I have to stitch for a prompt. And I'm going to wait till the 30th to start on Sleepy Hollow, because I want to stitch it on the 30th for a prompt and continue stitching it on the 31st for Halloween. I think that would be awesome. So other than that, I think that's as far as we need to go today. I'm not sure. I've got to relook at November now that I've had this finished, because it actually was the first week of November. I was going to stitch on that until it was done. It was going to be a November finish. So I got the bug early, and I'm going to go ahead and get it to the framer. So I'm excited about it. Hope you're having a great week. I hope you're enjoying what you're stitching. And I will be back soon when I have something else like that to share with you. So happy stitching, everyone. Good night. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's Halloween today, and this evening we had a couple of trick-or-treaters, only two little boys. But the funny thing is I had put all the candy out in a big cat face bowl, a big plastic bowl for everybody to help themselves so we could have contactless delivery of our Halloween candy. And I didn't have to worry about it for very long because the two boys who came wiped us out. I had 70 pieces of candy in the bowl, and they took all but 4 of them. So I just cut out the light, didn't have to worry about it anymore. Anyway, so while we were supposedly taking care of trick-or-treaters, I was stitching. But I want to show you my progress. So this is to remind you, this is Sleepy Hollow. And the last time I worked on it, I actually came over here and did this arm right here and got the whole pumpkin done. And I got these 3, I got the last 2 of those borders done, just so I'm trying to stay even as I'm going down. So this time what I did was the cape. I came on over, I dropped down a little bit, and this was the most obvious piece that I could stitch. You see there's some blocks of color in there. I was trying hard to get my 350 stitches when I started that block of color. So I did stitch on it today. I did most of this cape today, and that's where I'm gonna stop and put it away, because tomorrow is November the 1st, and I have a whole new set of plans for November, and I want to share just a moment of those with you in a moment. But I would like to mention something to you. I had been contacted recently by a young lady who has started her own Etsy store, and her name is Sylvia Ward, and you may have already heard about her through Carolyn Zook, because I noticed tonight when I was looking at her video, she mentioned it, and that she had been provided with these project cards that Sylvia has created, and had been asked for her feedback as well. And there may be others of you that were, but Sylvia has a Etsy store, and it's S Ward Designs on Etsy, and I'll put her information in the drop-down box below. But what Sylvia has done is create tracking cards to try to make it easy for us stitchers to keep up with how often and how much we stitch on a project. And she's trying to make these where you can just check on the, like this is tracking if you track your days, and you can determine how much is a day if you touch it, or if it, has to be so many hours. But you come up with your own system of what you count as a day, and you can just check off the calendar. And she's got these set up to go for a span of 3 years. So this one's a 20 to 22, and then she's also sent me a few cards that were 21 to 23. And I looked at these, I really considered them for a little while, and I wrote back and let Sylvia know that I'm a stitcher that tracks hours, not days. And I do that for the simple reason that how do you determine a day? Do you have to meet a certain number of hours, or is it just because you worked on it at all? And is that really a whole day? So I just track hours instead. So Sylvia said she's going to work on a card that does hours, and we have been commenting back and forth with each other, emailing each other, and we will see if she can come up with something that would work for me as well. But I think that these are great. They're on a great cardstock. They're nice and thick, and she has been very, very prompt to respond when I've given her any suggestion, and just really trying to work with me to customize these for any crafter. I mean, if you were a knitter or a quilter and you're trying to track a project and how much time you put into it, these cards that I have, you track by day. And but there will be other options on her Etsy store very quickly. So I did want to mention that so you could go check her out. And again, I'll put her information below so that you can do that. She has got a great idea to try to help us out, and I just wanted to make sure you knew about that. So tomorrow's November 1st, and my plans tomorrow are to start a secret stitch. And we both love Brenda Gervais, and so we decided that we would only have a couple of rules, and that would be that it had to be a Brenda Gervais pattern of some sort, and it couldn't be any larger than 6 inches on any direction. So nothing big, just something smaller. You know, we tried to give ourselves enough room to do something meaningful or that we would enjoy stitching, but not that would take too long because we want to do this pretty quickly. So I'm excited to let you know that I've picked my pattern. I ordered it from an Etsy store and it came very quickly, and so I'm happy to say I have it. And I spent time this evening and I picked the fabric and I converted the entire pattern. I only had one of the hand-dyed threads that were called for by Brenda's pattern. So I went through my collection of hand-dyed fibers and I picked something very close to each of the colors that were called for. And so once I finish it, I will film it, and then after it's gifted, I'll pop that in, so it'll be one of those videos you'll see after the fact. But I think I've done a really good job this year getting my projects to completion, as many as I could, and hoping that December will become more of a Christmas month, stitching mostly Christmas. But November holds a very special thing, and that is on the 20th of November, I will be starting Pandemic because I want to start it this year during the year that it actually happened. I'm sure it may run into next year. I'm hoping not very long into next year, but I want to get it started. So that's coming up. My friend Marissa's going to start hers with me. If you haven't already started yours, and you've been looking for an opportunity to do that, maybe finishing up some other things, I encourage you to start it with us on the 20th. It's we picked the 20th simply because that is the year of starts in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, and so I thought, well, that's a good day. That's a good day as any. So I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Enjoy the rest of it. We still have tomorrow, and I hope that you get some stitching done. Happy stitching, everyone. Good night.
Kelly Hornsby. Action. Up.